Hello, this is not a spring chicken. Well, I'm here, or was I? Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, except when I'm not. But you know what? The nice part about this is I can wear swimsuits like this because, oh, maybe we might have to change something because last time I wore this, we did something and it got pulled from VO because, does it look too naughty to you? I see you, swimsuit. What about you? But for now, we'll bring Oldecam on for comments on the headlines of today.
Presidents with explosives for to storm U.S. base in Afghanistan. Well, what's news about that? They do that every single day. They just don't get caught every single day. Here's one you like though. The FBI destroyed the anthrax strain used in the deadly 2001 attacks. First of all, they shouldn't have anthrax laying around to begin with, but then to destroy evidence in a crime, that doesn't sound too bright. Agent stocks fall to a 2-year low on U.S. credit fears. Well, yeah, they just talked about the fact that maybe a bank the size of Citibank is getting ready to fold, but that it folds only in the fact that the United States taxpayer will pick up the cost of it. And then this one, I saw it on Tropical Storm Faye blows kite surfer into the air and across the beach. I mean, you got to really be dumb to want to go out in a storm like that. I mean, when I was young, I did a lot of stupid things, but I wouldn't go out in a hurricane and try to surf. McCain should stop questioning my patriotism. I guess President Obama really doesn't understand that that's part of the job. To quote a really famous Democrat, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, Mr. Obama. The presidency brings with it a lot of criticism. Keys take Tropical Storm Faye in stride. Basically, it fizzled out. No matter what meteorologists say, meteorology is basically, it's the best guess is what the meteorology can give you. They can only tell you what they think is going to happen, not actually what will happen. Obama vice president announcement expected in the coming days. Basically, they're afraid Mr. Obama is going to pick somebody that basically will make him look good instead of somebody that can actually help him. The title, the print run on the Woodward book is announced. Basically, it's another hatchet job on the President of the United States and the Iraq War. It's the trick is when you write these books, if there was any validity to what they're saying, the people would be being tried in a court of law. But what they do is they use sources that can't be named for protecting it as sources, and they use secondhand information, and by the time they get done with it, it's so convoluted that you can't tell the truth from what's not the truth. Let's see. Car buyer satisfaction with U.S. brands stumbles. Well, yeah, I mean, we did a thing about a lot of what they're doing in a lot of cases is they're repackaging the same car that no one was buying at a higher price in a hybrid form. I mean, the latest thing that General Motors is going to do is employee pricing to sell the cars. Well, maybe if they build a car that people actually wanted, they wouldn't have the problem to begin with. But then again, that's been my gripe for a long time, and nobody at GM will listen to me. Nukes unlikely to be affected by Musharraf leaving. Yeah, that's right. You're going to have a fundamentalistic Muslim at the fingers of a nuclear switch aimed at India. You can bet that the nuclear bombs are now aimed more at Pakistan than they were in the past. New study backs angioplasty through the wrist. I mean, that's an awful long way to put something up to get to the heart, folks. I mean, the further you have to go, the more likely you are to have problems. Pennsylvania teens ordered a trial on immigrant's death. Well, I mean, you kill somebody, you should go to trial. It shouldn't be a free pass just because he's an immigrant. You don't like that person. Let's see. Mexican peppers posed problem long before the outbreak. They knew about there was a problem, but because no one wanted to do their job, they just simply let it skip. Here's one. This is one of the things Barack Obama hates. Obama tried to legislate failure. Well, yeah, he basically said, this is a war we've lost, so let's leave, and then, actually just run with our tails between our legs like we did in Vietnam and Somalia. But that's unfortunately what Democrats have a tendency to do. Democrats at one time led. Now Democrats simply want to run. Basically, here's another of these weird news items. No sandcastles, please. You're in Italy. Basically, don't go to the beaches in Italy and build sandcastles because it pisses them off over there to do something like that. The Italians, but folks, it is their country, and they should be able to do what they want to do in their own country. Chewing gum after surgery may help keep you regular, and then it may not. I mean, it's sort of another ridiculous thing. It's probably created by the people that manufacture chewing gum as a way to sell the gum. And here's the thing that got Citibank and a lot of others. Liars' loans threaten to prolong mortgage crisis. Basically, these are people that didn't have to put up any references other than the fact that they said this and they said that. And, when you have nothing to back up what the loan, basically, it's a bad loan. Confused sea turtles march into restaurant. Yeah, I know. They missed the ocean. Which is, and the sea turtles are not really stupid. So when you walk through an open door, you're something is really fouled up in their system. College presidents seek debate on drinking age. Basically, they want to stop binge drinking, and all you got to do is ban the alcohol on the campus. Don't let it come into fraternities and all of that stuff. And if you bring it into binge drinking on the campus, you can't stop what's happening off the campus because it's not within their domain. U.S. trooper, this is a good one. U.S. trainers say Georgian troops weren't ready. Let's see. Every one of them ran like an Egyptian army facing the Israelis. They left all their equipment behind. They left their ammunition. They left everything behind rather than to fight. And here's McCain nets $1.75 million at a Reed-linked event. Well, so Ralph Reed is a member of the Christian right. Well, you've got people on the liberal left that are just as bad, and we don't see the press really jumping all over that, do we? UAW endorses Obama for president. Well, because the Democrats have this thing in front of them, which basically, the secret ballot is out. You now can tell what every person in a union election is doing, and basically you can intimidate them that way. Even George McGovern says the removal of the secret ballot in union elections is ridiculous, but that's tough, though. The modern political convention exists to be seen. Well, basically, we were supposed to be part of the election process, and then the problem comes is that Mr. Obama started doing very badly, and the worse Mr. Obama got, the further we got pushed away from the election, which is why we're going to be covering magic next week instead of the Democratic election, as we had been promised we were going to cover by the DNC. Oil drops and then rises as the American dollar starts to go down again. Here we got one. Obama book falls victim to a bookseller's rivalry. Basically, I think Borders and Amazon.com are in a battle over it, so therefore a book that is somewhat positive to Obama isn't getting the publishing, the print time that it would have had otherwise. Basically, Mr. Obama proposes to raise marginal rates for just about every federal tax. Basically, if you got a penny, the Democrats want it because they feel it's theirs. So I don't see how raising taxes ever helps you, but then again, it's one of those things. And here's basically how Mr. Obama is basically going ahead of McCain in evangelistic support. They forget that millions of Americans are devout evangelical Christians, millions of African Americans are hardly part of the conservative base. Basically, they're the liberal base to begin with. They're not part of the conservative base. So when they say part of the conservative base, that the Christian right is different than evangelists, folks. We have the 110th Congress, whose term officially ended January, hasn't passed any spending bills or attack high gasoline prices. That's because it doesn't serve the Democrats to actually do anything. They need issues, and the best way to have an issue is to do nothing. Monty Bottle with the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom. Very simply, if you don't believe, why should anyone else?